If you bought this watch as an investment, those scratches are a financial disaster. But if you bought it to live in, those scratches are the return on your investment. Today, I'm explaining why the watch investment era of the 2020s is officially dead, and why that's the best news we've had in years. Welcome back to Luxe Pulse. For the last 5 years, the watch world has been obsessed with one thing: resale value. We've treated our watch boxes like stock portfolios and our wrists like safe deposit boxes. But as we sit here in February 2026, the bubble hasn't just burst, it's evaporated. The flippers have moved on to the next hype, and the safe money Rolexes are finally cooling off. Some people are panicking. Me? I'm celebrating. Because for the first time in a long time, we can finally stop being investors and start being collectors again. Today, I'm sharing my 2026 philosophy on why I'm intentionally buying watches that I love and that may involve losing money. But who cares? Let's be honest. Unless you are at the very top of a Patek or Rolex VIP list, most watches lose value the second you walk out of the boutique. And that's okay. When you buy a luxury car, you expect depreciation. When you buy a bespoke suit, you don't expect to sell it for a profit in 3 years. Why did we decide watches had to be different? When you buy for resale, you aren't buying for yourself. You're buying for the next guy. You're afraid to wear it, afraid to scratch it, and afraid to enjoy it. In 2026, I'm done with that. I'm looking for emotional ROI, not financial ROI. If we're going to ignore the spreadsheets, we need watches that offer a world-class experience on the wrist. Here are the 3 I'm prioritizing in 2026, and not one of them is about the resale value. My first priority is finding a good example, neo-vintage Rolex GMT 16710. For me, this is the sweet spot. Before the ceramic bezels and the super cases made everything bulky, Rolex was making watches with perfect proportions. Buying a 16710 GMT-Master II today isn't a play for future growth. It's a play for tactile charm. You get the holes in the lugs, the rattling bracelet, and an aluminium bezel that actually fades and tells your story. It's a watch that feels like a tool, not a trophy. Next, I am exploring the Tudor Black Bay 58, what I would call the no-stress daily. The Black Bay 58 remains the most honest watch in the 2026 market. It's the watch you buy when you want that vintage Rolex feel without the £10,000 price tag or the fear of a 40-year-old gasket failing in the pool. You can buy this, wear it for a decade, scratch it to bits, and it will only look better. It's the ultimate buy it and forget about the market timepiece. And finally, if I get a call from my AD, I will be adding a modern hype piece to the collection. Either a Rolex 126720 VTNR, also known as a Sprite, or Sub 126610 LV, also known as the Starbucks. Now, this could be the ultimate rebellion. If you get the call from your authorized dealer for whatever is in your list, the investor brain tells you to keep it unworn and flip it for a quick £2,000 to £3,000 profit. Don't. In 2026, the real flex isn't having a Sprite in a safe, it's actually wearing one. Taking a watch that the secondary market is obsessed with and choosing to put a scratch on the clasp on day one. That is how you reclaim this hobby. It's about the win of getting the watch you love at retail, and then actually living with it. In 2026, I've replaced resale value with cost per wear. If you buy a £6,000 watch and you're too scared to wear it more than once a month, that watch is costing you hundreds of pounds per outing. But if you buy a £4,000 Tudor and wear it every single day for the next 5 years. It's costing you about £2 a day. That is the cheapest luxury experience on the planet. When you stop worrying about what the watch is worth to someone else, you finally find out what it's worth to you. The investment era turned a beautiful hobby into a stressful side hustle. In 2026, Luxe Pulse is taking the hobby back. I'm buying watches to wear them, to scratch them, and to tell a story with them. If it loses a few hundred or even £1,000 in value over the next decade, I don't care. I got 10 years of joy out of it. And you can't put a price on that. Tell me in the comments, what is the one watch in your collection that you would never sell, even if its value dropped to 0 tomorrow? That's your real grail.